are you doing? No, wait.
Think you've seen every good sci-fi on Prime Video? You haven't. Not even close. Prime is sitting on a goldmine of mind-bending films that are literally invisible to the average viewer. I'm talking about movies that will flip everything you think you know about time and reality. And I'm saving our number one pick for last, a $50,000 dinner party film where 8 friends end up trapped in overlapping realities. Let's get into it. Kicking things off at number 10 with Cosmos, a 2019 British sci-fi that does not need a single explosion to get completely under your skin. 3 friends head out for a camping trip in the countryside, trying to escape the noise of their everyday lives. Ryan just lost his job, and even before they leave the city, you can tell he is already falling apart. Then, somewhere in the middle of an empty field with no reason to exist, he picks up a signal on his radio equipment, repeating, mathematical, structured in a way that natural interference simply cannot explain. What starts as mild curiosity spirals into full obsession as Ryan becomes convinced he is making contact with something not from this planet. Cosmos is slow and atmospheric in the best possible way. It rewards patience, and the unease it builds is the kind that sticks with you long after the credits roll. At number 9, OtherLife is one of those Australian sci-fi films that hits way harder than its budget has any right to allow. The premise is this: a scientist named Ren has developed a drug that simulates entire lifetimes inside your mind in just minutes of real time. You take the drop, and your brain experiences years of a fully realized alternate existence while your body barely moves. Ren is trying to fund this technology to save her brother who is in a coma, but the government has very different plans. They want to use OtherLife as a prison alternative. Instead of locking people up for years, criminals get sentenced to years of simulated confinement that costs only minutes of actual time. And that is where things get deeply disturbing. The film forces you to ask whether a simulated reality is just as real as this one, and whether suffering in a fake world actually matters. Number 8 is Infinity Chamber, and this one is essentially a one-man sci-fi survival film set almost entirely inside a single room.
You're not authorized to let me die.
What is your job, Howard?
I can't do that.
What is your job?
To keep you alive.
Then open the goddamn door!
Frank wakes up inside an automated detention cell with no guards, no human contact, nothing but an AI called Howard that controls his food, his lights, and his sleep schedule. Frank has no idea why he is there or what happened to the world outside. The only thing he has is a fragment of memory from before his capture, a moment in a coffee shop that he keeps reliving in an endless loop. As the film progresses, the mystery deepens on every level. Is the outside world even functional anymore? Is Howard actually telling Frank the truth about what is happening out there? Infinity Chamber is a slow burn, but every single scene is doing real work. It is the kind of film that gets significantly better the more you think about it after it ends. Coming in at number 7, The Mandela Effect takes one of the internet's most popular conspiracy rabbit holes and turns it into a genuinely compelling sci-fi thriller.
We're sliding between parallel realities.
Maybe none of this is real.
Brendan is a man dealing with the worst kind of grief after losing his daughter in a tragic accident. Broken and desperate, he stumbles onto the Mandela Effect, the idea that millions of people share the exact same false memories. Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain, the Monopoly Man's monocle that never existed, Sinbad's genie movie that nobody can find footage of. Most people chalk these up to simple memory errors. Brendan cannot. He becomes convinced these are not glitches in memory, but actual evidence that realities are bleeding into each other, that the universe fractured at some point and we all slid into the wrong version of it. Then the film goes somewhere even more unsettling, suggesting this entire world might be a simulation, and the Mandela Effect is just the code showing its cracks, far better than its complete lack of profile suggests. At number 6, Parallel is the film that answers the question everyone has asked at some point. If you found a portal to a parallel universe, what would you actually do with it?
Stop. 1 minute here equals 3 hours there.
Each time you go through, it's like it resets the timeline.
I think it's parallel universes.
4 roommates discover a mirror in their attic that functions as exactly that. On the other side is an alternate version of their world that looks nearly identical, with one crucial difference: time moves much slower there. Every hour spent in the parallel world costs only minutes in the real one. At first, the uses are relatively harmless. They steal code written by alternate versions of themselves, borrow ideas from other timelines, use the advantage to get ahead in their careers. But the human brain, given unlimited power and zero consequences, tends to travel somewhere very dark very fast. The film charts that moral collapse in a way that feels completely believable, and by the third act, what started as a discovery story has turned into something genuinely frightening. Parallel does not waste its premise, and it does not let its characters off the hook for what they become. Number 5 is The Endless, and the less you know going in, the better this film hits.
We can't go back to our lives knowing that there's actually something out here.
Two brothers, Justin and Aaron, escaped from what they describe as a UFO cult as teenagers. Years later, they receive a mysterious video message from the cult, and Aaron convinces a reluctant Justin to return for a single day just to get closure. What they find is not the broken, delusional community they left behind. Everyone looks exactly the same as when the brothers escaped. No aging, no decay. And underneath the warmth of the people there, something is deeply wrong. The woods surrounding the camp are not normal. Time in that place does not operate the way time is supposed to. There are loops, repeating cycles that trap people in the same moments over and over, some lasting days, some lasting decades. The Endless is quiet, patient, and deeply unsettling in a way that respects your intelligence enough to never fully explain itself. This one earns its place. At number 4, A Scanner Darkly is a Philip K. Dick adaptation that most people either missed entirely or forgot existed. Directed by Richard Linklater, it stars Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder, and Woody Harrelson, and it was made using rotoscoping, a process where real footage is painted over frame by frame. The result looks slightly dreamlike and unstable in every shot, which is perfect for the story being told. Set in a near-future America consumed by a drug called Substance D, Keanu Reeves plays Bob Arctor, an undercover narc embedded deep in the drug world. He wears a scramble suit that constantly shifts his appearance, so his own supervisors cannot identify him. The problem is that Substance D destroys the connection between the two hemispheres of the brain, and Bob is heavily addicted. He is losing his identity, his memory, and his ability to distinguish what is real. Then his supervisors assign him to surveil a suspect named Bob Arctor, which is himself, and he is too far gone to recognize it. Bleak, brilliant, and completely unlike anything else on this platform. Number 3 is The Vast of Night, and this might be the most cinematically impressive film on this list.
Everett, it's Faye. The sound came through the board and interrupted your radio show.
What sound?
Set in 1950s New Mexico on a quiet Friday night, the whole town has turned out for a high school basketball game. Two young people are not in that gym. Everett is a fast-talking teenage radio DJ, and Faye is a switchboard operator sharper than anyone around her gives her credit for. Over the course of one night, they intercept a strange audio frequency on the radio. Not static, not interference, but something structured that no human broadcast station has any business transmitting. What follows is a slow, focused investigation as Everett puts the signal out over the air and the calls start coming in. An old man rings in with a story about crafts in the sky, missing military personnel, and government operations that powerful people do not want anyone asking about. Shot in long, unbroken takes that make the film feel like a live event, the writing is extraordinary and the atmosphere is suffocating. This film deserved 100 times the audience it got. At number 2, The Man from Earth is a film that should not work on paper and absolutely does. No action, no special effects, no score-building tension. Just a group of professors gathered in a cabin for a farewell party for their colleague John Oldman, who has decided to quit his job without explanation. Then John tells them exactly why. He is a Cro-Magnon man who is 14,000 years old, biologically frozen at around 35, walking this earth since before recorded history began. His colleagues, all trained skeptics, start interrogating him immediately. Was he in ancient Babylon? Did he personally know Buddha? Is the figure at the center of Christianity actually based on him? The extraordinary thing is that John's answers are never dramatic or self-important. He is exhausted, careful, and thoughtful, like a man who has had this conversation too many times and already knows how it ends. Written by Jerome Bixby on his literal deathbed, this is pure intellectual sci-fi that proves you do not need a single special effect to make something unforgettable. And the #1 spot goes to Coherence, made for $50,000 over 5 nights in the director's own home, with a cast largely improvising from a basic outline. One of the greatest sci-fi films of the last 25 years. 8 friends gather for a dinner party on the same night that Miller's comet passes through the atmosphere. The power goes out. Phones start showing strange images. Someone notices there is one house down the street, with its lights still on when every other house is dark. What they find inside starts a paranoia spiral that does not stop until the credits hit. The science at the heart is quantum decoherence, the real idea that under certain conditions, alternate versions of reality can occupy the same physical space simultaneously. The tension between these 8 people as they try to figure out which version of reality is real is some of the most effective psychological pressure you will find on any platform. Coherence does more with $50,000 than most studios manage with $50 million. Watch it tonight. You will not sleep. That is the list. 10 insanely underrated sci-fi films Prime Video has been quietly sitting on while most people scroll right past them. Drop a comment and tell me which one you are watching first tonight. If this list hit different, smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss another one of these. See you in the next one.